Hi, bright lights. I wanted to come on today to talk to you about the transparency, the process of divorce after 40. And today I wanted to talk about filling out the divorce papers and actually filing them. So, a couple weeks ago, my husband and I filled out the paperwork. So there's different ways you can do that. You can either go through somebody that can help you to fill it out, which will cost you additional money, or you can fill it out yourself. So here in Arizona, it doesn't cost a lot to file, and they give you different alternatives too as far as paying off the court fees. That's all you're paying. And we consulted with someone that could fill it out, but we decided to fill it out ourselves, which we were able to sit down and go through each section. You know, you have the section for the children, and we only have one child together, our 9-year-old daughter. So we just had to write down what our agreement would be with visitation and also financial, if any financial support would be given, and the house, because we just had the house built. So we had to agree on that. So everything was amicable, everything was agreeable. There were no arguing, no like feeling a certain kind of way about that process. So we were able to get through that in probably a couple of hours, if that, 2 hours, if that. And the next day, we actually went down to the courthouse and we filed the papers at the courthouse. Of course, when you're dealing with court forms, you do have to get notarizations and things like that. So we were able to go to the UPS and get notarizations, as well as when we went to the courthouse, there were notarizations that had to be done as well. So actually, the notary was right there, so she actually notarized it. The mood of the atmosphere when we went to the courthouse was to file was wow, we're really doing this. But during the whole interaction, we were laughing with the lady, talking about different type of topics, and just there wasn't any crying, any sadness, anything like that. Even though we may have had feelings inside, but we are in a point in our relationship where we did build a friendship before, which is always important, because if you don't build a friendship, then you may have other complications that comes along if you're in the situation. But since we built a friendship and we've been a friend to each other over the years, as far as making, just as far as really checking on each other and really having, conversations and hard conversations, things like that. And we do laugh a lot with each other. So, it was able to be a overall good atmosphere when we filed the documents at the courthouse. So in Arizona, you do have to wait 61 days before the divorce can become final. So that is where we are right now. We're in the waiting period. Once that time comes in October, I also requested for my name to go back to my original last name, my maiden name, Ferguson. So that will happen as well. So right now we're basically just waiting until the date, and it will be final. We still have conversations about the divorce and what led us here, things like that. And we kind of we're still on the page of it being amicable, just because there was reflection on not only my part but his part as well, as far as things that needs to be worked on as an individual that was not helpful to our marriage. And in order to do that, we do need to divorce. So we are definitely on the same page. Our parenting As far as you know, we have 5 kids blended, one together, but we still try to maintain that type of camaraderie or communication amongst our children when it comes to keeping that family type environment. So last week we had the family question day, or what do you call it, family meeting, where we actually pulled questions from a vase that everyone, if anyone had a question, they could just put the question in the vase and pull it. And we had a great conversation. A lot of it was, very emotional with the kids. They were able to express themselves, but also they were able to hear our feedback and our perspective on different things when it comes to children and parents. So that's always good. So we want to maintain that communication with our children. So that is something that we're going to continue. And then also, like, we may go on we used to do family trips all the time and family pictures. Now the family pictures, because we are getting a divorce, it would just be sibling pictures going forward. But as far as like taking a family vacation, right now that isn't a problem. So we will probably do that sometime this year. Going forward, as our life may change or other people may come in and out of our lives, that may change or may not change. I'm not sure, but right now we're on one accord with everything. The feelings about the divorce right now for me is, of course, I was always confident in my decision to divorce. Now, did I ever think I would end up in this place? No, because of the love that I, have for my husband. Now, I still do love him, but it's just not the same, meaning that I don't see us being together in that way again. So that has changed. As far as my love for him as a person, as a human being, yes, that is there. He is the father of my daughter, so that is there. But as far as us getting that together in the future, I don't see that happening, even if we both work on ourselves. As far as how I feel, some days I'm fine. Some days I miss him because, you laying in the bed by yourself, feeling kind of, nobody's there like they used to be. You can't just hit them, cuddle and things like that. So those are times, and that's far and in between. I think once everything becomes final, it will free me up in those areas where I'm, missing him to that point, or where I'm maybe still having some type of emotion, towards the situation. I do know my reasons why. It's definitely in the forefront of my head on the reason why I asked for the divorce. Sometimes people get caught up in the good times, all the good times, and they forget about the things that made them sad, things that made them cry, the things that made them feel uncomfortable, the things that made them feel not respected or valued, things like that. So a lot of times people forget what got them in that space of wanting to end a certain situation or relationship. But that is like in the forefront of my head on why. Yeah, there were good times, but there were quite a few not so good times for me emotionally. And in order for me, I have to heal from a lot of this stuff. So that's always in the forefront on why. So that's why I don't have that, we can work it out, we can reconcile, maybe we can move forward once we have that healing. I don't have that, just because of all those years of those feelings is at the forefront on why I made the decision. So I just wanted to come on and kind of go through and kind of explain where we are in the process. We're in the waiting period now. So I did speak with my husband, he said he will be coming on to tell his side or his perspective or his reflective thoughts on the whole divorce process and how he feels about everything. So you will see a video from him as well, because I feel like it's important to get the other side. Sometimes you tend to get one side of a situation. You don't really get the full brevity or the full explanation of why two people did not work out. But once you get two sides, you're able to say, oh, okay, now I see. It just wasn't one person's fault, because a lot of times, even if somebody did something in the relationship that was not good, you have to, or that was detrimental to the relationship, you still have to look at your part, because what if your part was staying, right? Sometimes we tend to stay in things because of the love that we had, because it changed because of how you're treated. Sometimes we tend to look at the love, the beginning of the love, and how that made you feel. And you see that person, and that's what's carrying you through. And I know that's what carried me through a lot of the years, was that hope that things would change, that love that I had for my husband. It kind of like just was at the forefront, not thinking about the good times, not the not so good times. So those things can keep you bound in a relationship and still being unhappy. That's playing a part, because you're not setting your boundaries. You're not saying, okay, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. It's time for me to exit. A lot of times when you try to exit a marriage, or a relationship, a person will change just enough for you to be back in. So they may change for a couple of weeks, they may change for a month, just for you to be all back into trying to make the relationship work. But it goes back to the same thing. And you play a part in that, because you have decided to stay. You have decided to let them trample over your boundaries and what you expect from a relationship. So you play a part in the disintegration of that marriage or relationship as well. So the next video probably will be one of him. If not, it'll be another one of me. But I just wanted to kind of come on and give you where we are in the process. So again, my name is Kashia Sharice. I want to leave you with peace, love, and all this light. Until next time, bye.